was him.
But you said yourself.
He was different, yet the same. It was there in his eyes, though. It was the Joker. He's alive.
How can it be? You do recognize it's highly unlikely Superman will allow you to carry this vendetta into Metropolis.
We'll prepare as best we can.
Sir, there is a matter I must discuss. It's not easy for me to say.
I never did tell you about my last case, did I? Before I retired.
No, sir. You did not.
There'd been a long string of grave robberies, and then a series of murders, all across Gotham. Various body parts were taken from each body, each victim.
The Jigsaw murders, as the papers labeled them.
I hunted down the killer. That much you know. Brought him to justice. Jonathan Crane, alias the Scarecrow. Previously, Crane had murdered for personal gain, often stalking those who had tormented his troubled adolescence. Always, he turned each victim's fear against them. But these were random killings, without motive. He had taken over a large abandoned meatpacking plant, pulled up all the flooring to expose the soil beneath. And that's where he buried the body parts he'd collected. Buried each piece meticulously, teeth inexacting in rows. Bones laid incandescent from each other. Everything in like groupings. This is where I thought I would find the answers to what Crane had done. In the cold ground, in the patterns of the bones. At Arkham Asylum, I watched him for hours, waiting for the man to speak, to cry out from his madness. Each day and night, he only stared out his cell window, trance-like. I watched the forensics work the case, excavating the remains, mapping where each and every bone and body part lay, cataloging every minute of horror. I studied it all, and still, the message eluded me. The hidden meaning, the why. One night, Crane sat staring at that window, exactly as he had done all my previous visits to Arkham. And then, I noticed it. It wasn't the window Jonathan Crane was staring at. In his mind, he hadn't been destroying. He'd been creating. Finally, I could see the garden of flesh, growing up from the soil of the abandoned meatpacking plant. Growths of bone and cartilage beneath the shade of giant, sinewy trees of flesh. Vines pumping blood. Red blossoms. I saw it all, and worse. I saw its beauty. Couldn't stop seeing it. In my nightmares, in my mind's eye. It took a long time for me to leave the garden of flesh behind, but I did. I learned then that while you can fight evil, maybe even fool yourself into believing you can win, you can't fight madness. It's undying, always reborn. You can't fight madness without giving some part of yourself over to it.
Master Bruce, if that is so, how can you pursue the Joker this way?